Okay, you come up to the top. Yeah, that's another muskie. Oh, there's one. No, this one's a nice walleye. Really nice walleye. Shot of him on the GoPro. Never caught a muskie before in my life, and today I've caught two for sure. This trip started out with Nick and I hopping on our kayaks and fishing a lake for about 5 hours. We ended up catching a bunch of perch. Nick caught a really nice stringer. And we called it a day. We thought we were done. As I was leaving, I thought I would give one more spot a try. Little did I know that it would turn into one of the most surprising afternoons of fishing that I've ever had in my life. I made my way down to a spillway, and like I said, we'd been fishing for 5 hours and my GoPro was buried in the back of the truck. So I just grabbed my rod, went down there quick to try a couple casts. Here's what happened. I got a little bit of footage on my phone. He's definitely a muskie, and he definitely ate my jerkbait. I didn't bring the GoPro down. Let's see if I can get him in. Thankfully, I also grabbed my net, and I was able to get this fish landed. So I snapped a quick picture and got him back in the water. At this point, I'm freaking out. I've never caught a muskie before in my life. And here at this spot, within the first 5 minutes, one ate my jerkbait right next to me. I'm calling Nick, I'm texting my friends, I'm putting it on Snapchat. And I run back up and grab my GoPro to see if I can get some footage. I've got a little bit of battery left after recording all day. But when I record on the GoPro, I use an external microphone. It's got a little foam cover to protect from wind. And during that fishing trip in the morning, it got lost. Unfortunately, the audio that I'm recording was just unbearable. I mean, it sounds a lot like this the whole time. Yeah, that's enough of that. I'll just do some talking and fill you guys in on what happened instead of having to try to listen to that. So there you go. First cast after I turned on the GoPro. Boom, got a really tiny pike. I didn't even know there were pike in there, so that was awesome. And at this point, it was like fish after fish. Very next cast, sure enough, I caught a walleye. Come here, buddy. All right. Actually, this might be a sawguy. I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comments if you know. Walleye or sawguy. What I do know is that the fish were biting like crazy that day. I was fishing the Rapala Shadow Wrap jerkbait. It's one of my favorite jerkbaits of all time, and I've caught a ton of fish on it. It has a sharp, darting action with a lot of flash, which you're about to see right here. Oh, there's one. That's crazy. That was really exciting to see that fish hit so close to me. And you can really see the action on the jerkbait. I use three main types of retrieves when fishing the jerkbait. The first is a cadence retrieve, where you have some type of jerking of the bait and then pausing and letting it sit. Normally a jerk pause or a jerk pause, but it's really all about the cadence. The other key thing that is so key is that when you hit the bait or when you rip it, that you're doing so on a slack line. This will take the bait from completely still to darting off to the side really fast. So I think what happens is a lot of times the fish will come up and look at that bait, and then all of a sudden it'll jump forward, going from completely still to jumping forward, and it's just a reaction bite and they grab it. This small pike annihilated the jerkbait. It's the perfect example of how they can hit it on that cadence retrieve. Man, it's fun. I love fishing jerkbaits. So the cadence retrieve, I always start with a shorter pause because, say, you can cover more water and it's a little more fun to fish that way, I believe. So you hit it with a jerk pause, maybe a jerk pause, but it's a really short pause. Maybe try 10-15 casts like that, and if it doesn't work, then you start making that pause longer. Most of the time, the colder the water is, the longer the pause you need, but not all the time. So it would be jerk pause, count to 3. Jerk pause, count to 3. And you do maybe 10 casts like that. If you don't catch anything, jerk pause, count to 5. and so on and so forth. That's what this nice walleye bit on. It was a warmer fall day when I was doing this fishing, so definitely a shorter pause was working well. Now, one more thing I should note too, I've talked about how the bait just sits there. Well, the jerkbait is a suspending bait. This shadow wrap actually has a slow sink, but it suspends in the water before you do the rip to the side. Again, this might be a saw guide. I probably should look it up better, but a little too busy making this video. So the next type of retrieve, I mentioned 3, so the second type of retrieve is a straight retrieve, just simply reeling the jerkbait. I haven't seen this in a lot of other YouTube videos, but it is effective for me, and that's how I catch this pike right here. It's a little bigger, but still not a monster. It's a pike. You know, you can reel the bait in slowly, you can reel it in very fast and burn it. I've even actually taken the deeper diving version of this bait and trolled with it when I was in a pinch up in Minnesota and had good luck doing that as well. The third type of retrieve is a really slow reel, where you reel the bait in very, very slowly, and then about halfway through the cast, you give it a big rip. So the idea there in my thinking is that sometimes the fish will be following the bait in when it's coming slow, and then all of a sudden you give it that big rip and boom, it darts off to the side and they grab it. So all 3 of those retrieves have worked. I'll often start with the cadence retrieve, and if I catch a couple fish out of there, I'll definitely go to those other 2 before I move on to a new spot. And if I don't catch a fish, I'll definitely do those other 2 to see if something else is there. Those are just 3 of the most common ones I use. You can also use kind of a method where you pull the bait and then stop, pull and then stop. But really, there's not a wrong way to fish the jerkbait. This was crazy. If you look close, there's some fishing line coming out of this fish's mouth. So he must have broke someone else off, and the whatever was on the end of that line was deep down in its stomach and was not coming out. So I did my best to cut the line as deep down as I could to let him go, and hopefully he's still alive. Here's a quick equipment breakdown. I already mentioned I'm fishing the Rapala Shadow Wrap jerkbait, but it's the live perch color. It used to only be available internationally, so I had to buy it on eBay, but as of 2020, it's now available in the North America and the US. I also upgrade the hooks on there to the Martens Gamakatsu Nano Finesse hook. It's a number 6. You can fish it just fine with the stock hooks, but those hooks that I mentioned are unbelievable. They're like some of the sharpest hooks on earth, and I really believe that it makes the bait come alive. I've got nothing to prove that, but it just seems to give it a little more action and give me more confidence in those hooks. I like to fish jerkbaits with a 6.6 or 6.8 medium power fast action rod. As far as the reel goes, you can actually use a casting or a spinning setup here, but just make sure to take the drag and back it off quite a bit, because you've got those little hooks on there and you don't want to rip them out of the fish's mouth. It's recommended to fish fluorocarbon line with jerkbaits in the 8 to 12 pound range. I personally use a braid main line to a fluorocarbon leader. I used an improved FG knot to tie the line together, and it hasn't failed me once in 3 years. I'll put all that stuff in the description below. I caught 1 more walleye and 2 dink largemouth bass. My GoPro was completely out of battery at this point, so I got what footage I could on my phone. All right, I'm just not moving this. It came up to the surface for a sec, but there's a chance it's another muskie. See if I can. Been fighting him for a while. I'm gonna reel with the phone in my hand to see if I can get him up so I can get a look at him. He's just not moving. He is in charge right now. Arm's starting to get a little tired. He's still out there. See if I can get a look at him. Okay. Yeah, that's another muskie. Alright, I'm kind of filming here. I got one hand here and I'm filming with this one. I'm gonna grab my net here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to film. Landing him. I'm gonna try to get him in. So I'm gonna grab my net here and see if I can get him in. I'll get another video if I do get him in. But right now he is in control. Okay, I'm gonna grab my net. Gonna have to turn off the video. I was able to get the fish landed, but unfortunately this is the only video or photo that I got of the fish. When I picked it up, it went nuts and flopped out of my hand. It actually cut my hand up pretty bad, and then he got away and went back into the water. So I didn't get a picture with it. But this was a fishing trip that I'll never forget. I've never caught a muskie before in my life, and to catch 2 in one day was unbelievable. Especially when I did not expect to catch these fish and was completely surprised. Even though it was an unbelievable day of fishing, there was a little part of me that was disappointed because I didn't get better footage and didn't get a picture with this second fish, which was by far the biggest one that I had caught. So it was a no-brainer for me to come back to this spot again the next weekend. But this time I was coming prepared. The GoPro was going to be fully charged. My microphone was going to be fixed. Nick was coming with me. If I did happen to catch something, I was going to get good footage and have a good picture. And oh, by the way, yeah, another shot at a muskie, I'm going to do that. The next weekend was drastically different. The first week it was in the low 70s. The next weekend, I live here in Iowa, it was below freezing. I believe it was like 30 degrees or so. The wind chill was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's actually ice a little further down the spillway. It was actually iced over. So it was completely different conditions. It was cold. Nick started out the day by catching a walleye. Or a saugeye. Still not sure. I started off fishing a few bigger musky baits with a big leader on. After doing that for about 3 hours, I switched it up. Since Nick had caught the walleye, I thought maybe I'll try to catch a walleye up on the rocks. Oh, there's a muskie, actually got it. Yeah, I'll need the net. But he was really shallow.
Can we just get him in quick?
Yeah, I'm not going to horse him in. I don't know how well he's hooked.
Okay.
There he is. But just kind of be careful with him and let him play himself out a little bit.
Take your time. Probably a good opportunity to get him. You will.
I think he's got it pretty good, but
No, don't horse
might
him.
risk
Don't horse him.
cutting the line.
Don't horse him at all.
You want to check my camera real quick, just make sure it's recording?
Yep, it's going. Just focus on it.
I don't know if he's going to be ready quite yet. He's smaller than the ones I caught last week, but he's still nice.
Same.
Man, the jerkbait has just been nailing him. He got it right in the middle of the mouth like
Yeah,
that.
he does. He's probably hooked multiple times for sure.
Yeah. T-boned it. Alright, see if he can. I don't know if he's quite ready or not. Sweet.
man.
Shoot, I don't have my pliers or anything over here.
Yeah, I can go run and get you one. You hang out and...
Okay. Alright, this is how the other one got away. There, buddy. Got a good shot of him on the GoPro. Sure. I was able to pull it off. Not only was I able to catch another one, but I was able to get a good picture. This one wasn't quite as big as the others, though. I think I might have to try it again. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go try it again. Maybe in the future, there'll be a true monster.